Yo guys, what's up? My name is Chris. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the metaverse. What is it? Who designed it? What does Mark Zuckerberg have to say? Gary Vaynerchuk, Microsoft. What can you do in the metaverse? Is it real? Is it not? Can you monetize it? Can you make money? Can you just be a user? How do you get into it? All of these topics we're going to touch on today. And some potential problems that might come from the metaverse that I really don't see anyone talking about. Psychological disorders, ailments, problems that could potentially change humanity. I'm going to give you my perspective on the metaverse, what we're going to see from it, and some things that I think everybody should get familiar with, because over the next 10 years, I fully believe it's going to change humanity, and quickly. And before we get started, guys, just do me a favor, hit that like button. You hit the like button, it tells YouTube to get this video out to anybody else that might be interested in the metaverse. So smash that like button, let's get started. First and foremost, I've been not sick, but I've just been congested. So I'm a little nasally today. I apologize, guys. I'm really trying my best not to make those nasty, deep, nasally sounds. If one or two slips in, I apologize in advance. Thank you for your patience. So, metaverse, okay? You know, it's funny. I heard of the metaverse. I heard of it years ago. I guess technically, metaverse was written about almost 2 decades ago in someone's book, right? And on the premise of virtual reality in a world to escape into. Here we are, and Mark Zuckerberg has rebranded Facebook Umbrella Corporation into Meta. And this term of metaverse is being thrown around. Now, here's the interesting part about it. The metaverse is actually a thing. And it's been a thing for some years now. In its very preliminary stages, okay? So the real question is metaverse real, and what is it? All right, yes, it's real, all right? What is it? Now bear with me. I have to read these things because I had to do research on it, and excuse my language if I don't sound like I know exactly how to pronounce some of these technical terms when it comes to virtual reality and augmented reality, which is the premise of metaverse. What is the metaverse? Metaverse is a hypothesized iteration of the internet, supporting persisting online 3D virtual environments through conventional personal computing, as well as virtual and augmented reality via headsets. Metaverse, in limited form, is already present on platforms like VR chat and video games like Second Life. Okay? That's how Wikipedia defines metaverse. Okay? Fundamentally speaking, what the metaverse is almost like the second generation of the internet. In the mid to late 90s, the internet came around for users like you and I, and it really changed the dynamic of how humans communicate, how businesses do business, emails, so on and so forth. Now, 20 plus years later, we have the natural evolution of the internet, which is being referred to as the metaverse. Now, here's the interesting thing. A plot of land just sold last week in the metaverse for $2.4 million. Okay? A plot of land. Now, it might sound a little abstract because it's this virtual world, if you will. It's this virtual space. And land is being sold for the millions already. Okay? If you've been a listener of this show, On the 26th of January, 2021, I put out a show called My Projections on What You'll See in 2021. And one of the things that I called in detail was the evolution of virtual reality in augmented reality. Intriguing that now it's being brought, it being virtual reality and augmented reality in the case of called the Metaverse, being brought and put in our face right before 2022. So this isn't a matter of me knowing what's coming. This is a matter of educating you to what's coming. And I really feel the metaverse is going to change humanity on many different levels. And we're going to get into the top 3 things that you're going to see here, okay? The top 3 things you need to know about the metaverse. Okay? Prior to getting into these top 3 things, there's a couple of keywords that I didn't know really or understand. So I think it's important that you know and or understand. And you very well might know these things. However, many people might not, okay? So there's this term, there's a few terms, virtual reality and augmented reality, that are very common in the jargon of talking about metaverse. So understanding what those two are before we talk about the top 3 things that are most important about the metaverse is critical. Just like taking a college class, you have to learn the jargon before you learn the material. So let's learn the jargon. Virtual reality is a simulated experience that can be similar to or different from the real world. Simulated experience that can be similar to or different from the real world. Next, we're going to talk about augmented reality, okay? There's a couple of words I'm not entirely sure of how to pronounce and or the depth of them, but augmented reality is very important for you to understand, okay? Augmented reality is an interactive experience of real-world environment where objects that can reside in the real world are enhanced by computer-generated perception information, sometimes across multiple sensory modalities, including visual, auditory, haptic, and I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce this, somotosensory. That's my best attempt at it. Somotosensory. Okay? So augmented reality would basically be you in the metaverse using augmented reality to picture me speaking to you right now, maybe at the edge of the Grand Canyon. And the Grand Canyon is behind me and the wind blows and you would feel some sort of feeling in your hands. Maybe you would hear it as well and visually see dust come in front of you. But you're just sitting there with a headset on. But you're looking at me in front of the Grand Canyon. Or maybe I'm having a speech at the Colosseum in Rome, Italy, and some rocks fall down and you could look over the banner and see things and feel things. That would basically be augmented reality with virtual reality. So now that we have those key terms, and this is real, guys, this is happening already. It's just in its very preliminary stages, okay? Very much like Bitcoin, when it was being talked about in 2011 and 2012, it sounded crazy, cryptocurrency to people. Now, 10 years later, I mean, billionaires have been, not only have billionaires been made, countries are investing. Venezuela as the forerunner. Okay? This in 10 years will be massive. It's going to change humanity. So, the first question is the metaverse real? Yeah, it's real. It's very real. And all you need is a headset, a virtual reality headset, or in some experiences, a video game to experience the metaverse. Okay? Video games like Fortnite are very similar You have avatars of yourself with different clothing and looks and weapons or cars or transport or buildings or backgrounds. And it's not entirely real, it's virtual because you have a headset on. And all you need is a headset to get involved in this. I personally don't have my headset yet. However, it is ordered and I will be diving into this. I needed to understand the metaverse prior to actually getting involved in it. Like Bitcoin, I needed to understand it before I invested in it. Okay, so is it real? Yeah, it's real. And fundamentally, there's also going to be some real big problems that come with users. Problems new for humanity, new ailments, new psychological problems, much like teens using Snapchat, having psychological disorders because of the filters, pathological disorders, different types of physical ailments through your eyes, through your neck, your back, just from sitting, things that humanity doesn't know quite yet. Okay, and number 3, all right, this is specifically for you business-minded, self-development, entrepreneurial listeners, okay? Entrepreneurs, you're gonna wanna get involved in this. I guarantee you, you will blow your business out of the water if you understand the metaverse and learn to use it and monetize it. Just like I was saying, imagine me giving a live class on the edge of the Roman Colosseum or in the Grand Canyon or on the islands in Fiji. Having a backdrop like that for a live class, broadcasting to everyone in the metaverse is a very real thing for coaches like me, all right? You have to understand it to how you can monetize your business on it. Let's just point out how the internet changed business, okay? And it's going to continue to change business in this fashion. Imagine selling your products or services in the metaverse. Imagine buying land next to the Roman Colosseum, okay? And having the buildings rented out for whatever. Your own business in the building, but buying the building, buying the land, having a business in there for everyone to come back and get comfortable after a speech, after an event. Imagine having billboards, digital billboards with clickable links up next to the Empire State Building where people are walking around and looking at it, or a billboard next to the Coliseum. Buying billboards, renting them out. This is real stuff. And it's happening right now, and it's so preliminary that these prices are in the beginning, and they're only going to continue to rise. And if you get in now as entrepreneurs and learn how to monetize this, billionaires are going to be created off this. Mark my words. I called all of this at the beginning of this year, at the end of January, virtual reality and augmented reality. Now here we are, it's at the forefront. Like I said, it's not the matter of me knowing. I know what's going to come in 2022. I'm ready. The key is that you guys are ready, okay? Learn from these sorts of things. Use these educational videos and educate yourself on what's to come. This is the future of the internet. Everybody uses the internet these days. All of us have the internet on our phones. We're connected to it. Some of us 5 hours a day or more, all right? This is the next step. As much as I see this as an opportunity, I also see this as a big problem to come. Problems with humanity changing, with communication, with psychological issues. Try to understand that there's always 2 sides to the coin, okay? This is a double-edged sword, but if you're an entrepreneur, I would highly recommend you educate yourself beyond just this video and start to look into it. There's webinars happening about this. There's people talking about this, educating about this, and it would be really important for you specifically to understand the depths and start to get involved. All right, guys, that's my show on the metaverse. I tried not to be super nasally and sniffing and snorting. I hope you guys learned something from this video. If you know more about the metaverse than me, please comment below. I'd love to connect with you. If you think this show was cool or you learned something from it, drop a comment below. Let's talk about it. Definitely smash that like button and consider subscribing. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. We're building a community. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you next week.